Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. And on this beautiful fall day, I am now in my 8th fall of bringing you curated research and news. This is generally my own research, and it's not to give you financial advice, but rather facts that are backed up with receipts to save you time in this space, because we are moving faster than ever, and there's no signs of slowing down, especially with AI in the mix. And today we have a little bit of a bounce in our step at the time of this recording. First out the gate is a slide from a deck of 158. This is page 77. And wow, we have mincing of no words here. This is SBI in Japan that has invested along with Ripple, Chris Larsen, institutional investors and exchanges to implement active measures to increase the asset value, not just merely hold the digital asset XRP. This is with the DAT Evernorth, and this is being engineered for institutional investors going forward. Now, I'm not in full agreement with Tom Lee of Fundstrat in his reasoning of why we've seen the market move the way it has. Instead of sketchy stories about market makers that don't have the appropriate liquidity, I think you just need to refer to the data, because data doesn't lie, and the numbers are that the outflows with ETFs and selling Bitcoin, it just is what it is. There's a lot of sellers. In the last 24 hours, Japan has passed a big stimulus package, 21.3 trillion yen in state funds. That's about 135 billion US. And traders, yes, are on the alert for a yen intervention. So exactly what does this mean? Well, Amina Bank, they are a Swiss licensed bank. They say that Japan era is really now borrowing forever at zero, might be in its final chapter. And the yen carry trade, it may unwind. Not for sure. Now, I want to be very clear on that, because a lot of people just jump to say that's what's going to happen. That's not necessarily what's going to happen, but it starts to get more of an unwind when that free money becomes less and less. And also, there is a $1 trillion AI promise that has been out there with all the activity, and it's about to get stress tested. So these things, even though it's bringing a lot of financial uncertainty, you can see that they summarize the entire market as, yes, a washout, but the outlook is bright. Super interesting, coming from a Ripple UBRI supported research paper. UBRI is part of the universities that Ripple funds to do all sorts of things, from research to testing to being on advisory boards. It's just, it's been a strategic move that's really turned out to be incredibly beneficial for not only the company Ripple, but for the entire blockchain space. Now, they did a research that looked at the ledger, because the nodes get flooded with duplicate messages. So they looked at what's called smart squelching, and it stops re-forwarding to the peers that have already seen that same information. So it cuts traffic. Well, the hub nodes now, if that is implemented, can handle up to 29% more. That talks about scalability. And that scalability boost not only can be for the XRP ledger, but it could also work for Stellar and Ethereum. Even though that paper is brand new, just uploaded in the last 48 hours, there has been steps towards releasing versions of Ripple D that has squelching enabled. The last one went through in June. Grayscale expands the ETF landscape on Monday. Yeah, we've got XRP and Doge, spot traded funds coming onto the marketplace. These are both going to hold the underlying asset, and Doge has become much more than a meme. I want to say, I told you so. It was June that we heard from the co-founder of Ripple and the executive chairman, Chris Larsen, that he led a $10 million raise for the Yellow Network. That was the first that it got on my radar. And the big Korean media yesterday came out with an interview of the chairman of Yellow Network, and he mentions Chris Larsen and Ripple a lot in this article. But I'll tell you, this is something you want to pay attention to because it's a layer 3 protocol that is not only backed by Chris, but also backed by Consensus. Now, let me show you that connection. Consensus is Joe Lubin's company, and he has started the blockchain Linea, which is going to be utilized as rails for Swift. And you can see that Yellow and Linea had a 2-stage partnership that started last March. I'm going to keep my eye on this network because they are really making a push to unify all the blockchains. Hugo Filion, the CEO of Flare Networks, and Amy are making it very clear that if native staking happens on the XRP ledger, then the F-asset FXRP simply wraps the staked XRP and continues to deliver additional yield. And one of the companies that is working in that ecosystem is Centaura. They are bringing us Firelight, and they have a back-end engineer that I just love. His research is phenomenal. And here is a little bit of tidbit from him. 67% of all crypto credit is now DeFi based. Look, you can see that if you go back to the peak in 2024 of Q4, this is when the centralized finance really was at the peak, very heavy, right? And just a little bit was dedicated, you can see in the blue here, to a decentralized network. Look how much that has changed. This is Q3 of 2025. So the collateral, the quality of the collateral has vastly improved. And it's different than 2021 when Three Arrows, BlockFi, Genesis, and Celsius were basically lending among each other. Risk today is spread across dozens of protocols. So if you really want to get tapped into someone who's spot on his analysis, I want to share with you David Arnold. I'm most impressed. There's a small railway in Kyoto called Izon, and this time of year, the Maple Tunnel is spectacular. But I can tell you, even wintertime scenes full of snow and the spring with the cherry blossoms are equally beautiful. If you're not familiar with the geography, you can see Tokyo here, and Kyoto is just southwest, and it's about 2 hours by the bullet train. And this railway is a short one, but it is full of scenery. It's a sightseeing train, and yes, at nighttime they do light up the maple trees. You can see here how it looks. This is something that was uploaded just in the last 24 hours. I've not ever done it, but it is on my bucket list. All right, everybody, until next time, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.